Well, they're at it hardcore, spraying out the moon. There's the moon. And they're at it hardcore today. That is not a contrail. Okay, that is a chemical contrail. The whole sky is filled with the product of chemtrails spreading out. All chemical contrails in New York State. Especially when the sun starts going down, they start doing it. And that is not a regular contrail. You can go on my videos and I have regular contrails. They dissipate almost immediately. Okay? That'll spread out into an awful white blanket of haze. White blanket of haze. It's terrible. All this is chemtrails spreading out. It's all chemical contrails spreading out for the global warming hoax. And they do it when the moon is out. They do it really hard. They do it every day. That's unmistakable. But when the moon is out, they really start coming through. And that is not a contrail. That is not water vapor. If you think that is water vapor, you are deceived. It's because you just want an answer that it'll be all right. You know, you'll believe everything they say. Because you don't have character to face that there's a problem. There's an agenda going on. And they're using the global warming hoax as their platform. And they call this shit solar shield. They want to tell you and me that this stuff is going to block the sun, the heat from the sun, because the earth is being overheated. Okay, so they're spraying all this stuff. God knows what. Strontium, barium, and aluminum particulates. It's terrible. The whole sky is... And I noticed that that's right along the moon circuit. And you want to tell me that in a few hours the moon will be right here. And that'll be damn near 90 degrees over my head. So someone explain to me how the moon is orbiting the ball Earth at the equator within 5 degrees. They say that because people in the southern hemisphere can see the moon. Right here's the moon, and in a few hours it'll be right there, damn near 90 degrees over my head. And right here, right in between these trees, right about here, where my finger is Polaris. Okay, that's where Polaris is. And it never moves. It's right about right there. Okay, and there's the moon. Alright? So you tell me, how is the moon, how am I looking at the moon right now if it's orbiting the ball Earth at its equator? There's no way that that moon is orbiting the ball Earth at the equator, because in a few hours, that moon right there will be right here. It'll be right about here, right along that chemtrail. It'll be there, damn near 90 degrees over my head. And there's no way that that is orbiting the Earth at the equator within 5 degrees. It's bullshit. And it's a lie. And they have to say it because everyone in the southern hemisphere on their ball Earth can see it. And that's why they say it. That's terrible what they're doing. Outright evil. This is the only patch of blue sky in the north. Right there. But all this other shit right here in the south is all chemical contrails. All chemical contrails being sprayed. I hope this guy don't get mad. I'm a little close to his property. All chemical contrails. And those people who love Aristophanes, that fake Egyptian, who you people want to use as proof that the earth is a globe with sticks and shadows, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm going to do what you people always do and do a plea bargain with refraction. Now, the sun's rays have to travel hundreds of miles through the Earth's atmosphere, and our atmosphere has millions of gallons of water. Okay, so that light's refracted, and that light is not true to measure, to use shadows in two different areas to try to ascertain what size or what shape the Earth is, because the sun's light does come to Earth in straight lines, 90 degrees. But once it travels through all that atmosphere, that light is warped, okay? Because, and you can see what happens, like if you stick a pencil in a glass of water, that refraction will interfere in atmospheric lensing. You can see that the pencil is not where it seems to be while looking at it through a glass of water. So you can't, that's a faulty method made up by the atheist and parasitic liars of scientism. I doubt Aristophanes, or however you pronounce his name, ever lived. That is not the correct way to ascertain the shape of the Earth, by going to getting two sticks and measuring their shadow and then doing it again, you know, a few hundred miles apart, because refraction warps the sunlight, okay, as it travels through our atmosphere. And our atmosphere contains millions of gallons of water, and it does atmospheric lensing, and it's just not true. The flat Earth people like myself, we don't believe the Earth is 100% level. Topography varies all over the Earth. You have mountains, valleys, plateaus, you know, it's not 100% flat. I mean, you go try to do the measurement with shadows over water, you know, go try it, do it then, because water is flat, it's level. The oceanic waters of the Earth are level. I mean, you gotta take out for waves, which are caused by wind. Water cannot be curved on its surface for 25,000 miles in circumference by a force that's never been detected itself per current, field, wave, beam, ray, or particle on the Earth. It's never been directly detected itself. They have to rely on their observations and alleged effects and results of gravity, but gravity itself has no presence or substance. And if it's holding that van down on a spinning spherical water world on the outside surface of said spherical water world, then how would it interact? Well, how does it propagate? They wanted to say it emanates from the center of the Earth and up. So how is it pulling or holding that car down? By what means of propagation is it doing so? Known means of propagation are current, field, wave, beam, ray, or particle. And gravity is a theory. It's a theory because it's never been detected itself. And they'll tell you they don't know what gravity is because they can never isolate or identify it itself. It's a lie. The Earth is statically charged, electromagnetic charge and force. Okay? And they might confuse that with gravity, but they do so knowingly. They know that the Earth is electrically charged. And you cannot rely on the shadows of the sun, or the sunlight from the sun, because after it travels through our atmosphere, it is refracted. Okay? It doesn't make it to the ground of Earth in straight lines. It doesn't, sorry. It's refracted. It might be a straight line, but it's a refracted straight line. Okay, so Aristophanes, fake Egyptian, he had no idea, if he ever existed, he had no idea about refraction of sunlight and light in general, traveling through a medium. Okay, and the atmosphere is a definite medium. Contains millions of gallons of water. All chemtrails. All right, people. It would be a glorious sunset if it wasn't for all these fake clouds. Chemical contrails are spraying on us. Praise the Lord, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, HaMashiach. His Father created the earth. Everything must be made. That van there, that steel and fiberglass, could never evolve into that what it is. It had to be made. Okay, everything requires a maker. So an atheist, parasitic liar of scientism will not have me believe in evolution, telling me I had to evolve, but what I make had to be made, or it could never evolve. And someone wants to say, well, that's not an inanimate object. Well, all life came from inanimacy, okay, inanimate object, okay, because life came from something that wasn't alive according to evolution and evolved into life, into a cell. So the things we make could never evolve. We are superior to the things we make. Yet the things we make could never evolve, and we're taught that we had to have evolved while we are superior to the stuff we make that could never evolve. It's illogical. You know how many species of how many life forms are on the earth? 3 million. And only one, us, humanity, evolved into what we are, and not one other thing evolved to compete with us. That's the biggest discrimination act I've ever heard of. Evolution is not true, or it would apply to all life. And we'd be in competition. How could the dragonfly be here 500 million years and still be a dragonfly? How is that? That's ridiculous. It's stupid. People just want to let others dictate their reality. And let Wikipedia dictate your reality. Go ahead. It won't dictate mine. I've reclaimed my independent logic. I will not believe that Fox News announced that science wants to move the Earth, the Sun, and the solar system and all the alleged planets to another location in space to avoid killer asteroids. They're going to make or invent stellar engines to do so. They mock you with this nonsense. People believe it. I told my sister, and she said, oh my God, my children will grow up and know it, and they'll be in a different region or sector or quadrant of space. You idiot, you will be nowhere. The Earth is stationary, and what you call space is above us, okay? The stars, the sun, and the moon are all above us, and the sky rotates, not the Earth. You could film time-lapse Polaris right over there, and you could see perfect circular star trails above the Earth. And they'll say, oh, that proves the rotation of the Earth. Yeah? Well, what about the Earth's alleged 67,000 mile per hour orbit of the sun? That should show up in the star trails. That's a 67 times greater speed than the rotation. But only the rotation shows up. That's ridiculous. We would never have perfect circular star trails if the Earth was in orbit of the sun 67,000 miles every hour. That would override the rotation, 1,039 mile an hour rotation easily. We would never have perfect circular star trails around Polaris in the North Pole if we were orbiting the sun 67 times faster than the alleged rotation. It's stupid. It's the sky moving, people. Research the flat earth and awaken. Awaken to the truth of God and His Son, Yeshua, Jesus Christ HaMashiach. We are being sprayed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being sprayed like insects. God bless.